Hello, welcome to episode 16 of Gilganos playing Dawntrail. Last time, we built a train, we fortified it with lumber, and then we made it explode, and now we're here. That's it, that's my intro for today, so let's go into it. I don't want to waste any time, go, go, go. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was this. Did we already talk to them last time? I don't remember. Things keep getting stranger and stranger. I think we already talked to them last time. Somebody's saying something about this is like a new world, no? Yeah, okay, so, okay, we've talked to them last time already. I'm still not entirely sure if we are in a different reflection. It might also be that this is like a fusion, like, I don't know, they teleported their city or whatever that is. I'm still assuming there's solution 9 at the top of this, right? Like, into our Yassulani. Because it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense for them to have the same Yassulani, right? Another reflection. Because, yeah, they're reflections, but they're reflections of when they split, right? Like, 30,000, 40,000 years ago, whatever it was. It would be a little random, you know, like, it would be pure coincidence if they had the exact same town, at the exact same place as we do, right? The Land of Levin. Oh, are we gonna meet old Ramu? Arendelle looks upon Yassulani in disbelief. I think he did recognize it, right? So it probably is our Yassulani. I guess their city just dimensionally teleported here. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. The tower. Was it always there? Yeah, sure. Obviously not. No, definitely not. Not a wall over there. The material is not something we use in Tural. It's close to what we saw at the gate to the Golden City, or those mechanical soldiers. Such a massive structure couldn't possibly have been built in such a short time. And I'm inclined to assume we've been transported to another location. Or perhaps... Well, speculation will avail us not. We need to learn more before we can draw conclusions, or the location has been transported to us, right? Let's take a look around then. Which would probably also mean rip all the people from Yassulani, but I don't think that's gonna happen, right? Is it? Who knows? I mean, the area is not gonna change drastically. So I guess either the people will still be there in Yassulani, or they're teleported somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see. The wildlife seems to be kinda natural. What you'd expect here. Haven't seen anyone so far. True. I recognize the lay of the land. It's definitely Yassulani. And yet... this place is unnatural in a way I've never seen before. This place is isolated by the dome, yet the skies are heavy with thunderclouds. The air oversaturated with lightning-aspected ether. That looks like a train station, doesn't it? Well, it certainly looks like a railroad. It must be Yassulani Station, where the passengers disembarked. Yeah, if the station is still there, then it's gotta be, you know, our actual Yassulani, right? That was... So the Thunderdome just kinda appeared. And perhaps we'll find someone to talk there. Let's go and investigate. I like how the lightning tower is just looming in the background over there. The Aetheryte is of Turali design. True. It's fallen into total disrepair, almost as if it hasn't been used in decades. So you're telling me they... inside the dome they kinda sped up the time? That would be an interesting prospect. Amidst enormous alien structures, we have more familiar sites like this station. I mean, that would make sense in terms of how they could have built the buildings and stuff, right? I just don't like the... But then again, of course, we do know that, you know, like the reflections time in the reflections doesn't align with ours necessarily, right? So it might still just be a fusion. I don't know, it's I don't think that we're just, you know, like, inside a reflection, on a reflection. Surely not. And I also don't think it's as simple as, you know, like, all these structures having appeared on the source. Also, I don't think they should be able to, you know, like, warp time like this, right? Because that would be far too powerful, right? In terms of lore, in terms of... They would make story writing really hard for the future if they did that. But I'm still going with the fusion thing. I can't really say if this place is on the source or on the reflection now, though. Maybe it's both, actually. You know, like, and when the dome appeared... I'm not sure. Because it would make sense for there to have been such a long time passing here. You know, like, if we would be going with the time on the reflection, then they could just go with the, oh yeah, and of course now suddenly, perchance, coincidentally, conveniently, time is now aligning again, right? As it was with the first. Let's see what their explanation is gonna be. This is a water tower for trains, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Water or sand or coal. Also, they don't use coal, they use beryllium here, right? So, really not coal. I get the feeling that now that when I'm gonna talk to Uklamachi, she's gonna have me talk to the others, right? Oops. I'm pretty sure this is Yassulani Station, but from the state of it, I'd swear it was abandoned years ago. I'm not sure what to make of this. I should look around a bit more. Yeah, and now I'm gonna talk to the others, right? Of course. Oh no, I'm not. Okay. Dilapidated building. Building is rotting husk. It has clearly been many years since anyone lived here. Yes, it is for sure some time leap. Okay, hello. Going on here? I think this thing is broken. Kinda wanna... Yeah, I'm a little late, but I kinda wanna look, you know, like a no HUD. But still usable interface, right, for talking. I should have probably done that, you know, like 15 episodes ago, right? Sorry about that. The tracks are heavily rusted. It would seem they haven't been tended to for a long while. Maybe I shouldn't have made the minimap disappear. It's a little difficult to navigate without no map at all. Rusty train turntable. You find a train turntable. The thick layers of rust suggest it hasn't been used in years. Finished poking around, have you? Let's gather everyone then. I want you all to have a look at this. Yeah, I also saw that. Thank you. Good thing it's deactivated, I guess. It's one of the mechanical soldiers, long since broken apparently. But I'd say its presence confirms that this is indeed Zoralja's domain we're in. What about the rest of you? Did you learn anything? It seems a long time has passed since anyone came here. So all evidence suggests this is Yassulani Station. Aye, and I've no doubt we're in Yassulani, but I don't understand why these buildings are so run down. They were completed barely a year ago. For new structures to deteriorate and enormous ones to appear in a flash. If I didn't know better, I'd say time flows differently here. Is such a thing even possible? Oh yeah, thank you, Gra. Good thing Gra is here. We have encountered this phenomenon before, as it so happens. Though it may be difficult to believe, our world is but one of several. In some respects they are similar to one another, but in others wholly different. We call them reflections. Simply put, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at a different pace in each world. While hours pass in one, years may have come and gone in another. But if this is Yazulani, then we should still be in the source. That flow of time should be synchronized. I'm gonna try to follow all this talk of reflections and dimensions. But if Erinville says this is Yazulani, then it must be. Let the adults talk, okay? Your village is a little further along, right? Erinville? Yes, it's a short distance to the northwest. Let's head there next then. Rather than talk theory, it's always better to confirm things firsthand. Uh-oh. May I be of assistance? It's still functioning. Doesn't seem to be hostile, at least. Perhaps we can ask it some questions. Can it tell us where we are? Unable to confirm credentials. Bzz. Please present citizen in the identification. Unable to confirm credentials. Bzz. Confirm. Bzz. Confirm. Bzz. Maybe we should... No, Kryl is here, right? Maybe we should Kryl have talked to it. Seems it's broken after all. Too strange by half. Let's leave it be and get going. Kryl, talk to it. Oh, come on. Are those lightning rods? I think they're using electricity. Or some other form of electric power. Some similar form of power. Will you accompany me for a moment? There's something I wish to investigate. Sure, always. Anything for you, Gra. Look there. There? The lightning appears to be drawn to those pole-shaped structures over yonder. The design suggests there's some manner of lightning rods. Oh, are we on the thunder plains? Let's go and take a closer look at how they harvest their power. It doesn't really work though, right? Because, you know, like, yeah, lightning has... I mean, it's just too short to really make use of its energy, right? At least with our technology, of course. This material appears to be the same that used as that used in the mechanical soldiers and warships. On the plains, anyone? Oh yeah, are we gonna have to do a 100 dodges? Oh god, please no. Oh, 200. Oh, is it 100 or 200? I don't even remember. I do remember doing it. Oh yes, I did it. On the original and the remake, yes, I did it twice. On closer inspection, it appears to bear fine etchings, rather reminiscent of arcane runes. These, I suspect, they're not merely decorative. I would posit it's used to harness lightning as a source of energy. Quite impressive technology. Yeah, true. I share this observation with Yashtola. For a blessing, the dome doesn't appear to interfere with link pearls. Okay, that also confirms that time isn't flowing differently. You could have said that before. Thanks for accompanying me. Let's head to the village and find the others. Let's stay vigilant. Yeah, it's not like I've heard that sentence before in this expansion. No sign of anyone. This is Erinville's village? Well, I mean... I guess like 100 years ago? Nah, it's not 100, maybe 10, 20 years ago. Probably more. Oh yeah, thank you. Oh, Erinville. What in the world? I wouldn't want to know what happened there, I would want to know where they all are. Well, Namika is probably dead, because she was already pretty old, right? But yeah, also everyone who he knew is probably already dead, because... Yeah. Well, okay, no, he's a Viera. Viera lived for pretty long. Assuming that for everyone who was here, you know, like, time went flew normally. Flowed. Totally flowed. That looks more like it was attacked.
Home. It's in ruins.
Or, you know, like lightning. Struck by lightning.
Here? And where is everyone?
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
I can hear her kitty brain
Excuse
smoke.
me? Are you looking for someone?
Oh, there she is. Finally. Wow, look at that plastic looking garment. Where did you look, Yomi? I saw that. Where the heck did you look just now? Don't worry, approved. I saw you in Tuliolol.
I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows.
What?
Sorolja has told me a great deal about you.
Oh, did he?
Sorolja.
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria.
So your name is Garnet. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay. Well, I guess we are diving into Final Fantasy IX territory, right? Which is great. I love Final Fantasy IX.
I am Sphene, the Queen
Okay,
of
not
Reason.
Garnet. Hey, but it's the same music. Are you telling me you're Sorolja's queen? Is that... Was that your deal with him? You gave him what he wanted and he just had to marry you?
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps
A king of resolve?
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Sorolja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Then you are both behind the attack on Tuliyollal.
Ooh.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception.
No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight.
Well, it kinda doesn't matter, because you did attack us.
Sorolja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I. It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
So why did you do that deal with him in the
Our
first place, when it turned out
I'll admit, I
horribly
cannot
wrong?
imagine King Sorolja is keen to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria.
Are they hitting us with all the music pieces from Final Fantasy IX right now? Oh please tell me they're gonna play You're Not Alone. Oh please. Oh, that's gonna be great. Oh, I was waiting for that for so long. If they have a Final Fantasy IX theme going on here and they don't have a remix, remastered, re-whatevered version of You Are Not Alone somewhere in here, I'm gonna riot.
Until one day, he appeared, bent on conquest. In my
Oh, okay, maybe it
weakness,
wasn't you
I feared his
offered him the
power.
deal then? Ah, so what was it then?
So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain.
Oh, never mind.
I would
It was
remain
you.
queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions, along with the knowledge to use it.
Why though? Why did you have to acknowledge to agree to that deal anyways? I mean, she's probably going to tell us.
Gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people.
Why spare? I mean, you could have just not let him into the city, right? You could have just let him not pass the portal, the gate. And if he passed the gate, you could have just killed him. Don't tell me you didn't have that. Don't tell me that technology couldn't have killed Zuralja if you wanted to.
If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
Actually, it wasn't a mere matter of days, Cryle.
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yasolani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know.
Then again, you know, Alexandria was named after Alexander, right? And Alexander is not here, so...
Must be,
Or maybe it
truth be
is.
told, I don't fully understand it myself.
Maybe it is. Now that I think about it. I mean, Alexander did have the time, the power to bend time, right? Oh. And it might have existed in a reflection as well. I mean, for those who didn't play Final Fantasy, well, actually, that's small. Well, not small. Actually, not small. Spoilers for Final Fantasy IX incoming. For people who haven't played Final Fantasy IX. So in Final Fantasy IX, there is, you know, like one of the main areas, one of the main nations is Alexandria, right? With the main city, with the capital of Alexandria, where Garnet lives. And the castle of Alexandria is actually a primal. Well, it is a... I'm not even sure what they're called in Final Fantasy IX in English, but yeah, it's a primal. And it is Alexander. That's why the city is called Alexandria. And they do summon and use Alexander throughout the story at one point. With great but also not so great effect, but yeah. It's actually one of the best cutscenes in the game, so go play it. Right now. But yeah, so, I mean, they could just take the name, of course, but it would make sense for there to also be Alexander here, and, you know, like, since we do have a time theme going on, who knows?
What I can say is that one day, people from your Tuliolol suddenly appeared here in Alexandria. Or perhaps it was we who found ourselves in Tuliolol. Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barriers surrounding our realm.
Does this not remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the first.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed
Not that
what's
much larger.
happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience.
Sudden and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dare.
Well, I mean, not really.
In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the outskirts.
Is it only me that is a little weirded out how she's just going around in her full queen dress up here, alone? I guess she's... I mean, if she wants to be stealthy, then at least...
Lived there
I don't know.
well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Interesting, she also calls him Shatona.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking into a trap.
Then again, if you assume that this happened, on her perspective, this happened like, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 years ago, with all the people here, I guess they would have to integrate those people into their kingdom one way or another, or maybe they just killed them all. I don't think so though. Maybe. I mean, I guess it's already established that Soralcha doesn't actually want to kill the people, right? He actually wants to rule over them, so he probably wouldn't have killed them. So they probably had to integrate them somehow into the new kingdom in whatever ways. So he probably just took over whatever nomenclature they used, right, for the races that they didn't know.
But if we're to defeat Zorolja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
You're right.
Queen Sphene, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tulihyolal?
Because if you say yes, you're gonna get split in two right now. Why does her dress look so
Noble Wuklamar,
plasticky?
shall we dispense with the formalities?
You know, she's also a majesty. Basically.
I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zorolja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolal.
So he alone is to blame.
Yeah. You did offer him that deal. I still don't
may
know.
not have prosecuted this war, but I
See, there we go.
nevertheless bear responsibility for
I
it.
still don't get why she offered that deal to him. She never. Oh no. It's not that I wouldn't get it. It's just that she didn't tell us yet, right? I do have theories, of course. I mean, she said that suddenly people started appearing inside of the dome. So the dome also existed on the reflection. There were. Oh, wait a second. We did have. We did have one of the reflections having a. Wait, no. No, that doesn't make any sense. I do think we had a calamity that was lightning ether based, right? But of course, if they were from that reflection, they would have already fused with the source, right? Except if they found the technology to not do that, for at least, you know, like if the dome basically stopped this part of their world being sucked into the source again. Yeah, but it might also just be an old reflection that, you know, like the Ascians already started tipping towards the lightning element, right? Or maybe they did it themselves to harness the power. Kind of like a Matrix situation without AI. Well, actually, AI is also kind of there. So maybe she had to do that because, you know, like...
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you, let alone what you've been through.
So maybe that gate was actually the single way out of their dome, right? And she was just like, yeah, finally somebody's opening it. Please, we don't want to stay inside this dome for the rest of our... Oh, not only our lives, right? For the rest of eternity.
So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
Wonderful. If you would follow me.
Isn't it a little odd for the queen to be walking about on a lonesome? With all of her, you know, like queenly garments, dresses on?
Is that concern or suspicion?
Both.
If things should take a turn for the worse, might I call upon your aid?
Okay.
I jest,
Okay, thank you.
of course, but you do strike me as the most capable here.
Is she flirting with me? Was she just flirting with me? Also, how would she... How would she realize that? There's certainly more to that girl than she lets us know. I think it goes without saying, but we're not going to trust her just like that, right? Anyway, look at it. A mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere proclaiming herself a queen is suspicious. Yeah. Usually a romance scam, so yeah, I agree. Da, 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 da. A royal welcome! Alice is inclined to keep a close eye on the Queen. Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use more information. So let's head to this place, the outskirts, and see what we can learn. Perhaps about Sphene, after all. Oh, that's cool. Very ineffective use of space, though. You know, like, why is there, like... Well, I guess you can't really do a whole lot more than we have here. Looks like corn or something. Also, this is probably not really healthy, right? To, you know, like, shower them in water, like, all the time. Elias? Hello? The lamps seem to be about the correct brightness. Now to check the crops and see if any further adjustments are needed. Hello, can you acknowledge that I'm here? At this stage we'll need mesh to keep the bugs off. Then I'd better put an order in. They're wearing very interesting clothes. The heck? Not what I would have expected. Also, it doesn't look like the Alexandria of Final Fantasy IX at all, I have to say. But I mean, okay, whatever. A most unusual farm, but the produce appears normal enough. It's a relief to see the people here are well, at least. The innovations of Alexandria are nothing short of extraordinary. There's brick buildings. I've seen the like before, though I cannot remember where. Brick buildings? What brick buildings? The ones behind there? I cannot really see what he means with brick buildings. Have you ever seen such strange contraptions? I wonder what this one is used for. Yeah, kinda. Reminds me on the Omicron Allied Society quests, right? I trust you have similar farming facilities in Tural. Well, we do farming in Tural as well, yes. They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what all those machines do. We settled on this approach after some trial and error. The Turali have their own methods of farming, which they wanted to continue employing. But the environment makes... So you're speaking of the Turali that have been here. Okay, so you did integrate them into your society. Okay, not just kill them off. Okay, that's good to know. But the environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough light. Thankfully, the use of electrope has allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature cannot. What? Electrope. It's a material we use for myriad devices and applications, and probably also clothes, right? Topic for another time, perhaps. If you would follow me, we are nearly to the outskirts. I love this area, it's great. Hey, there's the Recon, whatever the name was. Yeah, no, there was a gate over there. Iopicana. Oh, you have an interest in our farmland? I'll tell you anything you want to know. No, I want to know how long ago this dome appeared. Tell me about yourself. Oh, you want to know about me? There's not much to tell, but I'm Iopicana. I've always had a fondness of throwing things, and I've gotten quite good at cooking various types of produce. I can also tell how fresh vegetables are just by looking at them. Okay. What kind of place is this? This is EU Pesalo, an important part of life here in the outskirts. I work alongside Shaloki, who runs the place, and we cultivate a variety of vegetables here. With the help of electrope technology, we make the most of what the land has to offer and support those who call this place home. Interesting. First I tended to think that, you know, like, these would probably be like the successors, right? Of the people who lived here. But now I don't think so anymore, because she said the people who live call this their home, right? So she seems to be one who has been living in Alexandria before the fusion happened. And now they just basically, since they had to, you know, like, they weren't allowed to leave the dome, I guess, they started working together. But it seems it wasn't as long ago as for people to forget that, you know, like, it wasn't always like this. So I'm still leaning on the 30 to 50 years side. And again, 30 to 50 years is a long time. And if you look, just think about what happened in the real world for, over the span of 50 years, right? And probably less, probably 10 to 20 years then. They also grow produce inside Everkeep, but it's not the same as the plants originally from Tural. This farmland is mainly used for cultivating Turali vegetables using traditional methods. Okay, so they are aware of being with Raleigh, and also the Turali are aware that they are being occupied, basically, right? But they don't seem to be... Well, maybe there is, like, a resistance, right? But then again, what are they to do? Mahuza. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better job. Fresh air, and I got to spend most of my day with those darling Ronique. I want to know more about this place. Queen. Well met. Here to admit livestock. Those burly beasts are Ronique. They seem mighty frightful at a glance, but you took a look into those big, doleful eyes and tell me they are the sweetest creatures you've ever seen. Because of course there were bound to be some of them here, right? When they teleported in. They were able to cultivate them further. It's a rather lively settlement, isn't it? In defiance of this ceaseless gloom, almost. It's fascinating how they've combined traditional bricklaying with electrope-based engineering, a curious blending of two cultures. Huh, looks funny. Looks like a smiley over there. Eyes and its mouth. Maybe this is the mouth and this is the moustache. I'll admit, I've seen nothing particularly suspicious yet. This is a Tonawatan village, or at least it was, before the dome and these strange contraptions. It's a relief to see the people here are well. Hopefully the same can be said for everyone in Yasulani. Oh really, they just hammer us with the FF9 music.
Doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria strange. The traditional agriculture practiced in this village at least should be familiar.
Kinda. That's interesting. Trees there in the background. This one.
Queen Sphene? What business brings her here, I wonder?
They all have the reviving mind-controlling machine thingy. I'm just assuming it's mind-controlling thingy.
Has come.
Interesting shoes.
You look well, Paquine. And Katonye, I see you've already taken to your new position.
Queen of the people.
When she introduced herself as queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Lamachi.
Maybe it's her soul fragment from this reflection.
It's only natural for a ruler to love her people.
Yeah, right. As a Suralja, right?
And I should like to know them as best I can. Even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put.
Nobody's surprised by us. Okay,
And
we're
it would
asking
appear that
about
she
us.
is well loved in turn.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliolol's vow of resolve Wuk-Lamat and her companions.
Oh, great. Yeah,
They
just
come
sounds
from
like that.
beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
Huh.
The rumors of a
Not how I expected this to go, to be honest.
Wuk-Lamat is still so young. Oh, where are my manners?
Oh, so this is someone...
A leader of sorts, of the people living out here.
Yeah, so he is someone who has been living here either for a long time or one of the descendants of the people who have been living here.
Papone? That is a ton of Wautenrig to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa?
Kafkiwa?
She died 2 years ago.
I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Interesting. Yeah, probably, okay, it's probably already dead then.
Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yasulani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
You know my mother?
I do. Yes.
Well, I did. It's probably what she
Then
wanted to
tell me,
say.
please, where is she?
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
Interesting.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well,
How long ago
I
was it?
remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
How long ago was it?
You
Please tell me.
needn't push yourself, Papone.
30 years,
After
okay.
30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
Nah, I wasn't too far off, I guess.
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
No, in the future, obviously. Duh.
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago. Which is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoraljar's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
So he's 30 years older, interesting.
To have the chance
Oh.
to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
Oh, okay, I was just, when I said it, I was just assuming he believed, you know, like... Huh, why did I not react to that line, actually, now that I think about it, yeah. What did I think? I should have thought more about that line, yeah. I think I just kind of thought like, oh yeah, he probably thinks that, you know, like Gulu Jaja died in the laser fire. But of course he didn't actually aim at people, right? So, as it seems. Alright, so that makes sense then. So he thinks 30 years, well, he thought 30 years would have passed.
Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
It's not unlike how time passes differently in the First and the Source. The fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence.
But why? But why does it still happen? If the dome is really just
Perhaps the same holds
present
true here, and
in our
time
world.
flowed faster within the dome.
Or is still flowing faster. I want to ask both of them. I think it's pretty obvious that it is a piece of another reflection, at least the buildings, right? Maybe they did just build it in 30 years. That would have been weird, though. I guess it's not as important to know if time is still passing faster in here, because we are in here, right? So it doesn't really matter. It would matter if he would be outside. That would be really weird, though, because, you know, like, it took us like 3 days, right, to ready that train. So if Zoralja would have returned here after stating his ultimatum, he would long have, you know, like, come out again and be like, okay, what is, do you yield to my power? So if time would still be flowing faster here, he wouldn't have returned. So he probably would still be on the ships that are not inside here, right? In that case, I would say there was a few days between the end of the Rite of Succession and the crowning ceremony, right? So let's say like 10 to 15 years would have passed before Zoralja attacked Tuliolal with the army, and then another 15 years. I would like to ask the people here how long ago it was that Zoralja started the attack on Tuliolal. Because if they are saying, oh yeah, that was 3 days ago, then it would be obvious that the time is not flowing faster anymore, right? Because another 3 days in our time passed since then. So it would have been another 10, 15 years in here. So I think this is the more obvious answer that we're probably gonna get pretty soon. I wanna know then if this is actually a piece of another reflection or how it exactly works. Although I don't think that Graha can actually answer that, but I'm still gonna go with this. Meaning this is a piece of another reflection.
I cannot say for certain, but I strongly suspect that to be the case. And based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the source's temporal flow.
That doesn't really make sense. As to why there's this fusion, you know?
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information.
Because that does mean that the people inside the dome would have been transported to the reflection, right? When the dome was erected. Because if not, then there wouldn't have been 30 years have passed for them. But we can't just be on a reflection because Tuliolal is here and not, you know, like destroyed. It's with the whole geography and everything. Doesn't.
Sphene, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
He's too
Time
cheerful.
to see what we can see of Alexandria, then.
Of the outskirts of Alexandria.
And its people. I may yet find familiar faces among the survivors from Yasolani.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zoralja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living.
Yes, it's
We
the
have always
theme of the
prided
expansion.
ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods. The use of electro-fueled technologies has led to countless agricultural innovations.
I would join you as well.
Ma'am, please, you needn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble at all. And I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
I'd say you're
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
I'd say your presence alone might be a distraction.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care. Now then, if you two would follow me, we can begin the tour.
Sure. So what voice actor is that? It sounds familiar.
I can't say that I trust her yet, but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine. And that's enough for me.
Well, at least it doesn't seem to be a Midgard situation, right? Where, you know, like everyone, well, this is basically the slums. And, you know, like the actual city is just up there. I'm still assuming the actual city is up there because we do need to find Solution 9, right? Which, by the way, it's much too late. Thank you. Like... It's really annoying to have the script, this collectibles appraiser and also this, the script vendors locked behind, like, the highest level of MSQ. Touring farmlands with the queen of another nation is not how I expected to spend my day. Yeah, especially after we exploded our way in here, right? And hey, there we have the Sound of Silence again. Electrope has done much to improve the efficiency of the farming, but hasn't replaced everything. The people wanted to preserve the old way of life, and we did not want to force ours upon them. We went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue, for the Turali tongue is surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Whoa, convenient coincidence. Of course, there are words and phrases for which there is no equivalent, but those can be taught with minimal effort. Through mutual respect, understanding, and patience, we Alexandrians in Turali have learned a great deal from one another. And I'm sure there is much you wish to learn as well. So please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. Imagine Kona's face. Charlian technology? I forgot about that. Now we have Alexandrian technology. Speak. I want to see your chat bubbles. One of my friends was just assigned the role of Hunter. God, I wish it were me. If only I'd passed the exam. Hunter? Hunter of what? Game? Huh. A day in the life. Sven is eager to show you around. Rather than bore you with lengthy explanations, let us head back to the farm we passed earlier. Yup, yes, Halo is called. We can speak with one of the farmers when we arrive. Yay! That's what I wanted to do when we stormed this fortress. That's what I expect to do. Yeah, talk about farming. Yeah. I guess we're off to Yup, yes, Halo. That's something I just don't get with Final Fantasy XIV. Why do they do this? Why it is... They always, not always, but they so often do this. It's like, oh yeah, there's now a really epic transition between two areas, and then you enter the new area, and oh yeah, suddenly it's about farming again, and you're like getting your hands into a pile of dung and all the stuff, and just like, oh yeah, just super break, and then suddenly it speeds up again, right? It's like, why? Except for the last area fortunately, this is the penultimate area, right? And usually in the last area there is like, you know, like. They don't hit the brakes anymore, so I hope at least we got that part out of the way. When I arrived here, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a gauntlet. This is gonna be such an epic build up to the conclusion of the expansion, right? No, we're talking about Renooks. I think they're called Renooks, right? I already forgot again. Again. What do you suppose they keep inside this building? Renooks. I was inside there already. Here we are. I'm sure you'll learn a great deal from the workers here. Oh, great. Thank you. That's... Allow me to introduce you to Mahuza, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in myriad farming techniques, and indeed the wealth of knowledge she has shared with the other farmers is what has allowed this place to flourish. Queen Sven, to what do I owe the sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I am come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more of Alexandria, and so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's alright. The rumors of visitors from the outside were true. I was already here, you already saw me before. What manner of hosts would we be to deny them a look around? And I gather your majesty has also intended to check on things here. You know me too well, Mahusa. I thought to seize this opportunity to see how the farmers fare and perhaps pepper them with a few questions. Though I do so enjoy observing and taking part in the work too. But appear we have her permission, so please walk the grounds to your heart's content. I've already done that before. You go on ahead, I'll keep Sphene company. Don't misunderstand, I'm not a suspicious type, but given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? A fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. I shall remain under Vuklamat's watchful eye. Pray come find us after you have seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. You know, they have so many side quests for all of these areas. Sometimes I just wish they would, you know, like, leave some of the lore building MSQ things to those side quests. And improve their pacing a little. My duties here are quite varied, despite being merely a farmer. We all have to do our part if we're to prosper. Well, I haven't been over here, truth be told. That's fair, I guess. Okay, You're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. That true? Uh-huh. So it is, which means we connected to the outside world again? Why again? Huh. That doesn't make any sense. That would mean that they haven't been. Well, obviously. And not that they couldn't just go out, because I was thinking, you know, like, why did they never go out, right? It seemed like, you know, like the military would stop them from going outside the dome, right? But this makes me think this isn't actually the case. But does it mean when the dome appeared, everything inside was transported to the reflection? And then they built Soraljar's kingdom and his base, and then when they wanted to go out again and attack Tuliolal, it was connected to Ural? I'm confused. They keep delivering more questions than answers. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. But seeing that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at UPS Halo, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but the job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. How are we doing, ladies? Hungry? Ah! I guess that's a yes. Feeling brave enough to go for a walk, pretty bird? Ah! Kinek. Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site then? Well, this there is the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is on the ground, much more spacious and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even got a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complain about how Alexandrian technology and electro complicate our lives, but it's just a matter of learning how things work. Take my job, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to the tower for processing, and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. If that's called Alexandria up there, then what's Solution 9 exactly? Is it a part of Alexandria? Is it the name we give to Alexandria? Probably not, right? Huh. Light levels appear to be... right, wow, he's saying the exact same thing as before. Huh? You wish to know about my job? I tend to the fields mostly, watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensure ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work. But honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. With my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Then what did you feed yourself? What food did you eat in Alexandria before you came to Ural? I'm still so confused as to how this exactly works. No, every time I'm feeling to settling on one of the theories, and like fusion, did we teleport there? Did it teleport back in here? I'm like, no, but there's always this smidgen that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I'm just trying to stop to think about it too much. It's a shame Kona's not here to see all these bizarre contraptions. Yeah, exactly my thoughts. I see, don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. Could have just stabbed your back then. I gather you have had your fill of speaking with the farmers. Then let us return to Mahuza. Well, I guess she isn't usually in danger to getting stabbed. Everybody loves her, right? Understandably. Well, what are your impressions of the farm? Everything was surprisingly normal. Oh, that's comforting to hear. Your words serve to affirm that my people do not work with undue strain. And what did you think of our little tour, Lamati? What the heck? What did he call me? Is that what Suralja calls her? I'm not sure if Suralja calls her Lamati. Is that inappropriate? My apologies. I heard the others call you by that name and I thought... Oh, no, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. Well, isn't it also kind of a title? You know, like a title of intimacy. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed. What machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. Never seen anything like it. The feeling is understandable. Indeed, many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. Put simply, it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have become charged up with the energy and they are releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system would return to normal if the creatures were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg it of the army. Yes, we can do it, sure, let's do it, They could take care of it if you'd like. Wasn't the plan of, charging in head-on to impress Suralja? But obviously he didn't even realize we're here yet, right? Because if we did, he would probably come down here. It's like... That is most gracious of you to offer, but it is much too dangerous. Oh, it's no trouble for the vow of resolve of Tuliolal. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And Yomi is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. Don't spill our secrets to the enemy, Vuklamat. Then very well, I gratefully accept, but please take care. This ought to go in faster if you and I search for lightning charge fiends on our own. Good hunting. I wouldn't have expected to hear such soothing, calming music in this chapter of this story. Ah, you're both alright, thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Of course I was worried. You're my dear guests. But thank you, we truly appreciate this. Indeed. With this we won't have to ask Soralja's machines for help. It's interesting that they call him Soralja and not the king or something like that, right? He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction of the people's for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Sphene. That's enough, Mahuza. If you have grievances, I will hear them later, but to speak of the king now... No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never fail to let us know, nor how much you care. Of course, you're my precious family, all of you. You seem a good sort, Sphene, that I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. Haha, for you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Well, okay. Come now, this is no laughing matter. You killed 50 people, well not she, but... A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable? What? Okay, whatever. Unconscionable? Don't know the word. Now, I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? Soralja, you bastard. My apologies for laughing earlier. Your friend painted an image so far removed from the Sphene we know, I couldn't help myself. On the clouds. Sphene will take you back to the outskirts. Well, thank you, I guess. Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. My thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come and visit us anytime. I just don't understand why they always have these pacing issues. You know, like, it's fine for it to be a leisurely experience in the first few areas, right? But I felt it was the same as in Endwalker, right? You know, like when we went to Labyrinthos the second time and had to, you know, like get all the, what was it? Fuel, I think, or something like that it was, right? And the Loporid arc. Also on Shadowbringers. Yeah, as I said before, I didn't like the Trolley arc just because, you know, like it stepped on the brakes so hard. I felt like. And then after that in Shadowbringers as well, you know, like the Talos part, right? Where you have to build the Talos is also... I mean, this could have been patch content. We defeat Soralja, yay, we win, and then, but yeah, Alexandria is still here, so now we have to learn to coexist. So, okay, let's learn from each other, right? Wait, wouldn't that make more sense, right? There is so much of Alexandria I would love to show you. Do you hear that? No? What?
What's happening over there?
It's nearly time.
Time for what? Now it's getting more interesting again.
I'm glad you could make it.
Is that Namika?
Are you with us?
How could she still be alive? 30 years? Wow. Old lady.
Sphene has come to see you.
It is Namika. Okay.
We're
Where's
here, Namika.
Vuklamot? Why hasn't she
Everything is going to
recognized
be
her yet?
right.
Oh.
What's the matter, dear?
What, you didn't recognize her yet? Really? Are you kidding me? Come on. Even I recognized her.
It can't be. That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
She literally just called her Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namika, it's me! Wuklamat!
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Has she no more soul cells?
Soul cells.
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
I'm curious how
Ma'am,
they...
the ushers have arrived.
what kind of souls they use for that.
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end. Be not afraid. Your memory will live on in us.
Living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Wait! Where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother.
Let us give them some time alone.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
To the souls of the dead that they have in their devices. And somehow they...
With what we can be reasonably certain of, perhaps. Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
Yes. But it also had to happen the other way around, no?
It does seem the most likely explanation.
Yeah, but why the time leap then?
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a Void Gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression. The Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding.
And to whom's understanding is it? Not Soralja, right? I don't think Soralja would know more than you. Would he?
I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken.
If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm.
Okay, so they do probably hail from that one reflection that was joined with the source, that was overwhelmed by lightning affinity, right? And someone figured out how to displace this part of that reflection into the dimensional rift, basically. Means the barrier, outside of the barrier, there was just a dimensional rift. And then somehow they plop that back onto the source at some point. I still don't get, though, why time passed so quickly for the people inside here after they arrived in the source. And if it still does, which is, as I said, a lower priority question. Because as long as we're inside of the dome, it doesn't really matter for us, right?
The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's innocuous influence.
I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
So maybe that barrier just stalled the rejoining, basically, with source, right? And then to actually have this area rejoin with the source, they just had to, you know, like, stop the barrier. But this barrier is still up, so that still doesn't make full sense. You know, like how they did it with the Zodiac. So maybe they have maybe Ramu is doing, you know, like, the barrier, and as long as we... But no, then I know, whenever I come up with a theory, there's always something that's just like, no, that can't be.
In other words, Sven's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
Well, but Zoralja did. So Zoralja is probably... Well, probably he does probably know more about it. Ah! Never mind, she did mean up to get here, to come here. She didn't intend to.
Ah, but of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder.
She totally did. Okay.
Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs. Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zoralja resides.
So why is it called Solution 9 then, not Alexandria?
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zoralja do as he pleases.
You think so? Maybe she is exactly doing what Zoralja... Did nobody realize, you know, like, that it's weird that Zoralja didn't do anything after our... I mean, even if he didn't realize us being inside here, he should have realized, you know, like, the very big explosion at his entrance door, right? You really think he doesn't know we're here? That would be preposterous.
But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Zorolja's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
Maybe.
Fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course. Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
That's where her
I am afraid I can say no more
earthen
than
remains
that.
remain, I guess.
Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep, anyway. Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namika these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
I wonder what this device can do.
Namika? I'm sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
Dead. Erased. Removed. But it is mind control. Nice. Ah, I love the eye flicker.
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it isn't funny.
I
Well,
don't
it's
mean to give offense.
memory control.
But I honestly have no idea who you are talking about. I'm sorry.
How can you not know who she is? You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud.
Nice.
Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
This is turning into a Black Mirror episode. Nice. I've never seen or heard of anything like this before. Well, that doesn't really surprise you, given the surroundings are, right? As far as I could tell, Peponi genuinely had no recollection of Namika. Let's see how it is with other people. This is very unsettling. What's going on? How could Pepona suddenly forget about Namika? It's as if he never knew her. And I guess it's one way to make people not have to mourn, right? Could the same thing have happened to others as well, I wonder? There's only one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the Aetheryte. Which means that Kafkiwa is probably also dead, because the queen remembers her, but nobody else, right? So I guess he also died, and their memories were removed from other people's brains. Oh, sorry, they're in the cloud. Ooh. Just like our pictures, they have their memories in the cloud. Just so that Apple can delete them when they want to. An old woman named Namika? I'm afraid I don't know that person. I'm sorry I couldn't be of help. Or, you know, like, not delete them when they don't want to, right? What's that? Do I know an Namika? Never met anyone by the name, and I've worked at the outskirts for a good while now. If she'd spent time here, I would remember. They don't even know about that. That's kind of... Well, it's actually weird. Because, you know, like... When pressed, the other guy was like, oh yeah, maybe she's just in the cloud. So they are wary of the concept of that happening, right? So why aren't they like, oh, okay, I must have forgotten then. Sorry, I guess she went to the cloud. Weird. Is that where she was before? I don't remember. Probably. I do recall caring for someone until recently, and you say that it was a woman named Namika? Well, I can't say for certain if it was her, I wouldn't worry. I'm sure she's just been taken up to the cloud. Right, which probably means she's made energy juice for your soul cells for. Hey, we're in full circle now, we're back at the Matrix. It was the same for everyone. Not a single person remembers Namika. It's as if the memory of her has been purged from their minds. While such a thing might be done with magic, to alter the memories of so many at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We would have felt a surge of ether corresponding to the act too, and I sensed none in that moment. Yeah, because he was electrobe. Neither did I. But I did notice something else. Right before Pipona seemingly forgot, a light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? No! Mere coincidence. Someone also said something about soul cells. But who might we ask about this? If we continued making such inquiries, I expect we could only cause confusion. Indeed, if you can't readily solve the mystery about Namika, perhaps you could search for Kafkiwa instead. I don't know why I'm still struggling with that. Kafkiwa. Sphene said to try the Thunder Yards. Should be in this direction. Yes, let's go. What the heck is that? Okay, I did see it from atop there. I wasn't sure if it was just a minion of someone. Impossible! Impossible! Why does it always also have a screen on the back? Huh? Another kind of mechanical soldier. It looks dangerous. We'd better destroy it. No, if at all, it's more likely a... Oh no, never mind. It's just a see-through cell here. Ah! I wonder if this is like a robot that is being infused with memories of the dead or something like that. Did we give chase? I think it understood our words. It might be worth asking it some questions. Maybe that's, you know, like Namika now, right? Erenville, are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing. I'm fine. Or maybe not. Well, it went off in the direction we headed anyway, so let's try to track it down. There it is. Is it? You found it? I saw it over there. To the northeast? Then it must be bound for the mines. Come on then. It could well be a trap, so let's not rush in too quickly. I think it's safe to assume it went into the mines. An old coal mine? It appears to have long since been abandoned, like so many other places. Who needs coal when you have ceruleum or electrope? The stones in those crates. Could it be turquoise? So it went in here. I heard faint voices coming from inside. But it's not alone. But we're still going in, of course. This may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone. Don't worry, there's gonna be purple smoke on the floor if it's gonna be enemies appearing. It would appear no one has worked these tunnels in quite some time. I'm not worried. We've had to improvise countless times before, after all. This tunnel just keeps going. That, you know, like it's a mine, Buklamont, yes. A device made with electrope. It seems to be the only one here. I can hear them. Several people up ahead. Can't make out the conversation with the echoing. Let's keep going. Stay on your guard. Hi.
What is this?
Aaronville!
It's a trap.
A trap?
Oh no, it's 4 of them. Oh no.
It really is you!
Elenespia.
Huh?
Ha.
Who?
I just had to get a look at you in the light. I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Elenespia!
My darling, what now?
Hi, Mom. It's my son.
Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. What are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
My fussy little bun bun.
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
You look different,
Oh,
Mom.
that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
Well, probably 30 years ago. Or 20 or 10, I don't know.
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Galul Jaja's kitten?
Mm-hmm.
I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. Elenespia was always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope?
I can't say that I do, but you knew my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
I'm sorry?
Oh, this won't do. Come in, come in! Friends of my Elenespia are always welcome.
Oh yeah, we were speaking of a kind of resistance, right? There we have it, I guess.
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place, how are things still getting stranger?
At this point, I doubt anything could possibly surprise me. Yeah, exactly. Erinvel's mother is a floating machine. Right, that makes about as much sense as everything else thus far. My thoughts exactly. The elegant had machines that could be controlled remotely. Is she using something similar to communicate with us? I don't think so. I really think she is the thing. I can't say I understand what's going on, but at least Kafkiwa is safe. As far as I can tell, this is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited, but as to what's happened, we'll need to ask her. Gone and forgotten. Erinvel is conflicted by this long-fated reunion. Let's hear what she has to say. What a battle plan. Just lying in the open like that. It's so wonderful to meet you all. I'm the students of Baldestian. It's been a while since I heard that name. Dare I ask the reason for your appearance? Oh, this? It's just a body that I control remotely. I use this for operations. Oh, she does. Okay, so it is. Okay, wow. I thought it would be actual soul and, you know, like her mind in there, not just a remote-controlled body. So where's her actual body then? We're members of a resistance organization, Oblivion we call ourselves, and our goal is to thwart Zoralja's ambitions for conquest. As the leader, it's prudent that I remain where I can't be easily found. Huh, okay. I see. Whimsical appearances notwithstanding, yours is a serious cause. Right, you are. Though, truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose. And that is? As I expect you've already noticed, everything you see within this dome, the buildings, the people, the very earth beneath our feet, is a fusion of two worlds. Ah, yes, okay. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. Well, you failed, I guess. And does it mean you know who or what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago, and our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. By the time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Zoralja. I'm assuming the fusion already was starting to take place. It might actually be of Essien design then, right? Or against Essien design? Because I'm assuming then that probably, you know, like the 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Another thing about 30 years ago, the gate was activated when Balov, Kettenram, and Gulu Jaja were down in Cenoti, right? And Kryl was brought here. Well, not here, but to the source. But it still all doesn't make sense with the appearance of the dome and the people inside of the dome from, what's his name? This place. Getting transported there and still remaining there for 30 years. But I guess those two people might have been, you know, like from the original Oblivion then. Trying to stop the fusion. Because obviously the gate to the Golden City has always, well, not always, but it has been there. No, actually, it's been there for 1,000 years, right? They said the dome existed for hundreds of years. Barrier, not dome. But we failed to do that, and now he's taken his army outside the dome. None of you wear those strange devices on your heads. Does it have something to do with your work? You mean this? It's a regulator, the pinnacle of electrope technology, and that we don't wear it is indeed related to our operations. What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Regulators have two primary functions. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life. Reserve? You mean people walk around carrying spare souls? They do. Souls are packaged in cells and they can be used to replenish the life force that is lost due to sudden death, such as an accident. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. Neat. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation to encourage exemplary performance when fulfilling their duties. Souls as a common resource and payment for services rendered. Also, whose souls? What kind of souls? The Voidsent practice of consuming others for their ether comes to mind, and similarly, I expect that the act comes with some risk. Yeah, but the Voidsent practice of consuming others is just, well, I mean, if the Voidsent who consumed another one is slain, then the soul is free again, right? And they form another, they're freed again, so that counts differently. Aromas. Wouldn't the consciousness of others corrupt your own? Because that's what it does with the Void Sense, right? Inhabitants of the 13th. That is prevented through memory management, a process in which regulators also play a role. Basically, the person dies, a new soul inhabits the body and recovers the memories of the person and then just think it was that person. Interesting. So actually, Zoralja isn't Zoralja anymore. But he is still Zoralja. Interesting. Memory management. And the reason everyone has forgotten Namika's existence. The regulators are constantly recording the memories of their wearer, so if they should suddenly die, the memories can be refreshed as part of the restoration process. This is how they preserve one's identity and sense of self. However, the regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being is that regulators forcibly extract memories relating to the deceased from anyone wearing one. Why would they do such a thing? It's a kindness bestowed upon the people of Everkeep's core system so that no one has to suffer the pain of loss. This is what is meant by the memories being in the cloud. Indeed, all memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and archived in the system. That's kind of funny that they archived it. It's a frightening function of the regulators and an integral step in soul cell production. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, the soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. Oh, so it is soul juice for the others to use? Well, not really, I mean, It's then delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. That's terrifying, actually. Well, that's what they sucked out of the people in Tuliolal, right? Oh, nice. So they were using their souls to create soul cells. I see. That's a terrifying prospect. The result is a fresh soul cell, free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. So basically, they've basically created their own life cycle. I mean, it's basically the same as we have with or had with Hydaelyn, right? With the Ethereal Sea, where you like the souls go back to the Ethereal Sea, and then they regain their memories until they look, you know, like, I think they, like, at some point they are reconnected with the live stream as a whole, right? And then at some point they just go back into a body, right? So it's actually the same. It's just an artificial circle of life that they created, which is interesting. But they made it so that they can use the cells, instead of having new people being born, they just use the souls to, you know, like, continue the life of the already living people. I don't mind that too much, actually. Spare for the fact that, you know, like, you can keep dictators like Zoralja alive with that, which is a little, yeah. But apart from that, I'm actually kind of fine with that. I mean, it's not like they would be using the energy of the soul of someone else to you know, like, for the profit of another person, right? I mean, the person that dies in an accident is dead. It's just the soul of the other person that is basically taking over the body of the deceased person, right? And it just takes their identity with gaining their memories and stuff. I'm actually fine with that. Kinda. You know, like, as long as the people still die of natural cause. Don't even mind that too much. Well, apart from the memory altering functions of the device, obviously. I mean, But there must still be children being born the normal way, right? So in the end, that means they would have a lot more souls than they need, right? Because most people would probably die of old age with the body not being able to be used by another soul cell, right? Also, I think it's kind of funny that, you know, like, the soul cells are like a reward. Because of course, we don't know how that would exactly work, right? But I'm just assuming if I would die, assuming that I am my soul, basically, right? That soul is... It's actually kind of funny. That means that I'll just be a completely different person afterwards. No, actually, now that I think about it, why don't they just put the same soul back in again? They should be able to do that, right? Because they just said that the soul is being transferred to their facility. So why don't they just put the same soul back in again? It probably takes some time to facilitate a soul cell, right? Maybe that's the reason why. But I mean, maybe they just have like two souls cycle through the same body over and over again. Yeah, okay, that's an interesting technology. Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system to be remembered forever. And this is why people are happy here. On its surface, it's similar to the Yokui philosophy, but I see nothing noble or comforting in it. I don't know. You know, like, the difference is for the Yokui, it's just a belief, while for here, it's knowledge. They know that this is what's happening. I think this is quite comforting, or can be quite comforting. But it doesn't seem so terrible to me personally. Yeah, exactly. I don't see too much of a problem with it. It depends, if it really is just that, right? It depends what else they're doing with the soul cells and stuff. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, the system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. So, rejoining. Amidst the mounting death toll, I'm very sure it has to be a rejoining, right? Because we know that only the 13th and the 1st were the worlds that were blood over by the one aspected elemental, right? With all the other worlds, they did it better, right? So they actually did facilitate a rejoining there. Amidst the mounting death toll, scientists used Electrope to devise a means to save what lives they could so that the nation could endure. I understand that people of Alexandria did what they believed was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe that Turali would also accept this way of living. It came as a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them if they so wish. See, I don't see an issue with that. Sphene didn't strike me as the sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so you've already met. She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wants to help us stop Zoralja. Awfully kind of her to point out in my direction, and speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motives, she has given the people a choice: live with the risk of true death or the security of the regulators. I don't see a difference, to be honest. Not too much. I mean, if you die in Eorzea, the exact same thing happens, except that you are born as a new person without your previous memories. While again here, as it sounds right now, even if you are like filtered and get back into one of the bodies, it's probably not gonna be your own, as it sounds. Well, the previous one. So you're gonna be a new person anyways. So I don't see too much of a difference, to be honest. Everything that lives must someday die. That is the natural order of things. Like, I personally don't see it as a, oh yeah, when I die, I just wake up again. I don't think that would be as it works. I mean, maybe it would. And like, maybe I am just my brain and nothing else. I mean, it's not really an atheist thing, right? Because if you're an atheist, you don't believe in souls anyways, right? So all of this wouldn't make sense anyways. It wouldn't work like that anyways. So it's like... As I currently understand it, it's more like someone else would keep living as me, basically, right? And I would be, like somewhere else until I'm being used to be implemented in another body as well. So it wouldn't make any difference for me if it was like the natural cause with the ethereal sea, or it was actually this thing. Quite right. But however you feel about them, it would be easier to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it for yourself. But we did see it with Zoralja. I know just the person to show you, and as luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now. Who are we going to see exactly? Come with me and you'll find out. Da, 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 da. I love the Final Fantasy IX music. I'm sorry, but I just can't accept the idea of using souls as a resource. Well, so far, that's not really what they are doing, to my understanding. But that might change. They might still be actually using souls as a resource, and that's something I would not be fine with. And to see how the regulator works, but how? But those regulators are to blame for everyone forgetting Namika, for forgetting what a wonderful person she was. Well, her memories, the memories of her are still stored in the cloud, I guess, ahaha. What does she intend to show us? To alter the memories of the populace with such precision is no small feat. And here? Good. It is the responsibility of the Thunderyard's hunters to fell any fiends found wandering the area. Here to meet an acquaintance of mine, Strickar, one of these hunters. What do you think is in this box? I'm guessing food. You hungry? Judging by its name, I take this facility is for gathering lightning energy. The Thunderyard. Let's get this over with. While I'm not blind to the potential benefits of these regulators, the risks inherent in giving another party the power to alter your memories cannot be overstated. Never mind the ethical considerations of using souls in such a fashion. Of course, the thing with the memories is the other thing. I wouldn't be fine with that, right? I'm just talking about the recycling of souls here when I'm saying like, oh, it sounds like the same like the natural way to me, and I don't have anything against it. Given the opportunity, I should very much like to study Electrope on behalf of the students. Don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against like a system like that existing. It's something else if you force it on people, which they don't, as it seems. And again, something completely else if you like use them to power the war machina, which they're probably doing. Which is probably going to be the thing when we're going to be like, oh, that's bad. Stricker will show you what life can be like wearing a regulator. Hi, Stricker. Or Striker, I don't know. Probably Stricker. Kafkiwa, what are you doing here? And with so many friends? Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping they might observe you at work. Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on. I assumed they were wearing special regulators like Queen Sphyn's crown. Oh. But they aren't wearing anything at all. It's much too dangerous to be here without one. What if they're struck by lightning or attacked by beasts? I can assure you they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I will take full responsibility. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Danger aside, there isn't really much to see. Kafkiwa said you were a hunter, but wouldn't it be easier for those mechanical soldiers to guard this place? It would, if not for the fact that they're weak to lightning. Thanks. Good to know. The Thunderyard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Some good they are, eh? But these facilities are vital to upkeeping of Alexandria's infrastructure, so it falls to the hunters like me to deal with any fiends. Given the danger, we're well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone looking to build up savings. The special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either. Special selection of souls. I brought this lot here to see this danger you speak of, if it's not too much trouble to ask. Of course, in which case, it'd be a shame to waste my efforts on just any old beast. You all can handle yourselves in a fight, right? If you cause a ruckus slaying what critters you see nearby, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of demonstration. Okay. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we should each slay what we can. This one I'll do nicely. So she's just gonna die, just like that. We'll help you. It's fine, really. I faced worse. Just watch. And she did. Oh, okay, not yet. I don't like the looks of this. Let us help. Oh no. Look out! Wow, she's really bad. Yeah, dude, we know that she wanted to demonstrate us how she dies and then is being revived again. Oh, preserve. She needs healing. No. I don't really understand why we need a demonstration though, because we literally saw that happening to Zarulja. It's, I don't know, stupid. Why are you all so shocked we've seen that happen to Zoralja? That was embarrassing. The bastard caught me off guard. Are you mad? Seriously, let us help. Told you not to worry. Oh yeah, what if he just maims your corpse? You know, like, tears you apart into tiny little bits. But okay. This will only take a moment. Oh yeah, we also saw that. Bayukin with Zoralja, right? And that's what I'm assuming is also making use of soul energy. And that's the point where I'm saying, like, no, I don't like this. It's one thing having the souls do what they would be doing anyways. It's a completely other thing to use it for, you know, like, as actual fuel. Just like Zoraljor. Yeah, exactly. Come on, let's get out of here. It's also a function of the regulator, well, obviously. I think I understand now how Zoraljor was able to return from the dead and defeat Papa, but I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became beast-like. Yeah, it kind of sounds like what they did in the Verlit series, right? With the Oversouls, where you basically they channeled the soul of someone better at fighting as them, right? Because that's probably what they mean when she said, like, you know, like the selection of souls for hunters, right? Basically, they can probably like select the souls or choose the souls from the mightiest warriors they had before to channel into their body. But it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense for Zoraljor, because who would be mightier than Zoraljor is, right? I mean, maybe someone. Also, how does it not override their consciousness? Like it did with the weapons in the Verlit series, right? Don't tell me. You empowered yourself with the soul of a beast over beast. Beast wouldn't be of that martial prowess, though. I'm reminded of the Serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard, who did the same. They've crossed paths with one of the king's elite. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourselves on souls. Ugh. So they also use beast souls, interesting. They could do the same in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not as if they'd allow hunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care. And there you have it. Regulators can be loaded with two kinds of souls, those of peoples and those of beasts. The souls of people can be used to grant the user preternatural strength. Naturally, they can also be used to ensure no one suffers an untimely death. And what about the souls of beasts? They work much in the same fashion, imbuing you the strength of the chosen animal. If, for example, you use the soul of a wolf, you would grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Striker. Using several of the same type at once, however, would result in physical changes. Your teeth might become fangs, your nails claws. Too many and you'll become more beast than man. Changing one's form through the souls of other beings, it becomes more and more reminiscent of Void Sand. Yet unlike the Void, where the cycle of death and rebirth is simply broken, souls here are forcibly taken before they might reach the ethereal sea. Different means to achieve the similar ends. Cycle to which all within the dome are bound. Well, no, all who are carrying a regulator. This is wrong. This is all wrong. I don't know. I mean, as I said, it's still, they still choose to do so, right? As long as they're not forced to use the regulators, I don't mind too much. I mean, they choose to have their souls back up and used for that, I guess. Which is a difficult thing to say, because you don't really know how that would be to your soul, right, after you die. So, and of course, you know, like, everybody has different understanding of a soul anyways, and it's not exactly clear how they are interpreting it here. Is it just a form of energy? Is it your actual self, etc., etc.? So, yeah, but I think as long as they're not forcing people. I mean, I'm not sure about the beasts' souls, because you can't ask the beast if they want to back up their soul right now. And I'm assuming they're also using human souls or humanoid souls or other stuff, right? Maybe without them even knowing. So yeah, it's sketchy for sure. But just the, you know, like the principle of it, like the artificial cycle of life and rebirth, I don't mind that one too much. Everything else is very sketchy, yeah. I don't really like to just plainly say it's like, oh no, this is wrong, no, this is so wrong. Well, no, it's just different. It's like really like immediately criticizing someone else's beliefs and values and religion or whatever, right? So I don't think it's right to just say because it isn't what you're used to, it's bad or wrong. It is indeed hard to accept being so far removed from our own beliefs. I still don't think it's that far off. It's exactly the same happening as with the Ethereal Sea, just that you have more control over it. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. What do you mean? The civilizations in the reflections are surprising indeed. Oh, you mean just here hundreds of years ago? Well, that's not really true, because you don't know how many years have passed here in comparison to the source, right? Also, to be fair, you know, like if you think about that, there were like 40,000, 50,000 years, whatever, since the shattering of the world. The Aussians are actually really far behind in terms of technology, right? It's not like they started from nothing. Like if it could be, I mean, 40,000 years ago in the real world, it would be like the Stone Age? No, maybe even the Bronze Age or something. Oh no, the Bronze Age was much later. The Bronze time was like 2,000 years before Christ. I guess before that, not a lot really happened in terms of technology, right? When was the wheel invented? 4th millennium before Christ. Okay, so let's say that the wheel was basically the start of human technology. Let's say it like that, right? But it took us 6,000 years from the wheel to where we are now. And they had 40,000, and they didn't even start from nothing, right? I mean, where the world was shattered, there was already a lot of peoples in place, and we don't even know what exactly happened then. You know, like what remained of the civilization of the ancients, right? So, I don't know. I wouldn't be too surprised on like this being more advanced than we are. When Amatek spoke of surprising civilizations in other reflections, I wonder if he had Alexandria in mind. Probably one of them. Having seen the beauty of the Ethereal Sea firsthand, I simply can't accept what they've done here in Alexandria. Well, whatever. I disagree. I understand this part of the culture, but it is no less disconcerting. What I found difficult to accept is that you can actually go to the Ethereal Sea, you know, like with a physical body, which is a little weird. Sphene speaks of lived experiences that suggest she's far older than she appears. Considering the power of these regulators, perhaps it's not so far-fetched. I've never seen it for myself, but it's said that if a beast's soul is potent enough, a single soul is enough to induce a monstrous transformation. While we all have our thoughts and souls, for now the important thing is we know what powers Zoralcha has at his disposal. It is one thing to separate corporeal ether from incorporeal ether, but to strip memories from the soul entirely is unprecedented technology. This is no longer only Tuliyolal's concern. With his newfound power, Zoralcha has become a real threat to the entire world. Indeed, he has to be stopped, no matter the cost. And this is where we are ending this episode of Gilganos playing Dawntrail. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, okay, it did get more interesting in the end there than just, yay, look at how we farm. So I'm really hoping we're picking up the pace again next time. I'm a little afraid, you know, like, given the fact that we just now unlocked the first ether current quest in this area. We're probably gonna have another episode in just this area, which is a little sad, I would say. All depends on how it picks up the pace, I guess. But I would really like to, you know, like, get to the gist of it, finally. But yeah, so next time, we're gonna continue from here. We're gonna find out more about all of this, I guess. And maybe we'll also reach Solution 9 and whatever area that it is. That is probably around Solution 9, right? So don't forget to always GG. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye bye.